Good night, everyone. Tonight, God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit tonight. I'm here to give you word and some news on tonight. Now, first we're going to talk about the abortion ban. Supreme Court had banned the abortion, and this woman here has certain complications. Not only certain complications, but had an issue with her pregnancy. So the woman had fallen ill while testifying about being denied, medical attention about her pregnancy. The law in Texas, banned abortion. So the doctor is terrified of giving her abortion. So the Texas doctor who performed abortion, but he went on to perform the abortion in Texas. He faced life. He facing life in prison. So abortion provides a simple not doing it, but even if medical is necessary. So even if medical are necessary, like this case here, they're still not allowed to give abortion. Now he went on to give the abortion, now he facing life and life in prison. So abortion provide or simply not doing it even if medical necessary. So a woman was pregnant. So a doctor told her she's about to give birth to a baby without a skull, and without a brain. So this baby she carrying, didn't have no skull, didn't have no brain, didn't have nothing. But this doctor could not proceed no abortion, but he went on and get abortion. He gave her the abortion, and that woman was one of the 14 women, and two doctors, who are now suing the state of Texas, over this 6-week abortion ban. So the women are suing not to attempt to repair the law, but to clarify what the law actually entails, because, see, they let them know about this law because they refuse to allow. It's not all about killing a child. It's about if a woman pregnant with complication, like this woman here, she would have had to carry this baby a whole 9 months to experience her child gonna be dying, because no scar, no brain, So, and broad wording of that bill, that was severe. Initiated led to a doctor being so terrified, to perform abortion on women with fetus, with variable fetus that they would deliver stillborn. With that kind of fetus, she automatically gonna deliver a stillborn child. It was gonna die. Hours after delivery. And that's what I'm saying. This one will have to experience the whole 9 months, knowing that baby was gonna die shortly after deliver, and she will have to experience that loss. It's different if it's in you, but it's different when you got to pull it out of you, and then you got to experience the loss. So the Texas doctor who performed abortion risks life in prison. And also a fine up to $100,000. Now this Texas law, for the doctors in Texas, provide who is unwilling, to even discuss the term. And now these doctors in Texas, they cannot discuss any kind of termination with pregnancy. They can't do none of that. So these terminations were for pregnancy that don't turn into healthy, normal kids, but exactly what we are concerned about. That's what we keep on talking about. They keep on banning abortion. Keep on talking about people killing. Now, some people want their babies, but some people having complications where they got to carry their sick baby, or stillborn for 9 months. So this the kind of stuff we was talking about. What we gonna be concerned about. So this is a situation is why abortion have to be legal. It have to be legal. It has to be a change. It has to be a change. So the reason abortion has to be legal, life threat for women. They're risking in life. Not only the child can die, a lot of complications, the mother can die. So complication, number one, complication with a pregnancy. This woman, the doctor had to tell her, you're going to be delivering a baby with no skull, no brain. And the doctor tell him, we cannot give no abortion. You're going to have to carry that baby 9 months. But I guess the doctor changed his mind. Because why the woman had to deliver, and see, that's the thing here. Why the women got to deliver these sick babies, a baby that's dead, still born inside of them, and they got to go 9 months carrying this baby, experience the pain and the loss. And that shouldn't be. Abortion should be legal. It was legal. We got to restore that policy back up. So 3, the baby may be in a woman too. You're gonna need the surgery. You're gonna need the abortion to get the baby out of the woman too. So these are things that you got to consider. And cause seem like y'all don't care, y'all move forward with this policy. So folks, a woman can get raped, and a woman don't want to carry, a rape seed. So we see that y'all don't care about these needs that these women, have to face, these complications. So it's not only about killing a baby, but with these issues, women's life is at risk. Now, this abortion is needed. So I request that doctors do not serve life sentence from giving somebody abortion. So 2, I request that abortion be lifted and remain for rights, to access abortion care as needed. So I request that abortion be legal all across the nation. So that's abortion banned. Supreme Court had banned abortion. So we're gonna talk about the parables that Jesus gonna be talking in parables about the great banquet. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about this master. Now this master planning a large banquet. And they're gonna come from Luke chapter 14, 15 through 24. So when one of those at the table, someone at the table with him heard this, and he said to Jesus, "Blessed is the one who will eat at the feast in the kingdom of God." And see, we gonna see who gonna last. Who gonna last? Now this man said, whoever lasts, last, they will eat at his own festival. Now the man is sitting at the table. The man is sitting at the table. Now Jesus envisioned, the glory of God. So the kingdom, but he did not yet understand. Now he had the vision, but he like Joseph had the vision, but don't understand. How to have a share in it. So he didn't know how to share. He couldn't even explain it. But he knew he had a vision. So Jesus' story, many people turned down the invitation, to the banquet because the timing was inconvenient. They all gonna have excuses. So Jesus replied, a certain man was prepared for a great banquet and invite many guests. Now he gave this invitation out weeks before the banquet. So the custom was to send 2 invitations to the party. The first, to announce the event. At the time of the banquet, he sent his servant to tell those who had been invited to come, but everything is now ready. Now he didn't give out this invitation, and now it's time for them to come in, and he looking around like, where everybody at? So the master, planned the banquet, which is God. Now this great banquet is the kingdom. Remember the man said he saw vision. He saw the vision of the kingdom. Now, this renewal of the invitation through Christ and his apostle was the final call, of Israel to the festival of the kingdom of God. So this is a call from them. They're gonna have excuses, but really, their final call was to accept Jesus. So they deserve the free grace and mercy of God, shining in the gospel of Christ with food. But they all are like, begin to make excuses. They start, make excuses. Now the first one said, I have just brought a fair and I must go and see it. Please excuse me. So just the first excuse. So now they all start making excuses. And when they received an invitation weeks ago, that's something. They received an invitation weeks ago, but not everyone got excuses. So the first one had brought a fear. That was excuse. The second one said, I had just brought 5 yokes of oxen, and I'm on my way to try them out. Please excuse me. Now, this is the second excuse. Now, here we go with another excuse. Now, this is the third. Now, the mother said, I just got married. So I can't come. So another excuse. Just got married. So there are 3 excuses. Who received invitation weeks ago, but all made excuses. So now the servant had came back and reported this to his master. Now he had 3 excuses. He had 3 excuses, and now he reported it back to his master. Now his master is angry, and he ordered his servant, you go out quickly, into the streets, to the alleys, to the town, to the poor, to the cripple, to the blind, to the lamb. So the thing is, that God invited them, to hear God preach. To hear Jesus preach. Now, they refused to hear Jesus preach and use excuses to not be there to hear that word. So our servant demonstrate over and over, again, that his ministry was directly towards those who realized they had a need. So the ones that he invited was prepared for the kingdom. It really wasn't about the great banquet. Jesus always put talking parables and always means something. It really wasn't about a banquet. It was about Jesus preparing them for the kingdom. So the excuses was rejecting Jesus, preaching, and did not want it to receive his message. So they used excuses. They didn't want to hear his message. So they came up with excuses. So they had every reason to accept Jesus, but they refused. They concentrate, they consider unclean, and it was under God's curse, from not want to listen to Jesus. So God the Master said if they don't want to receive the word, bring in. So God said, okay, since y'all don't want to hear this word, I'm going to go out there and going to get the poor, the blind, the crippled. I'm going to get anybody out there in the street. They'll be gladly, to come in and listen to that word. So God the Master has said if they don't want to receive the word, bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, the lame, to fill up the hall. Someone who willing, and glad to hear Jesus preach. Now Jesus had taught that the kingdom was available to all, even those considered unclean. So when God had sent them out there to get the poor, the blind, so Jesus was letting them know that the kingdom, his preaching is for all, not this one, not just for them, it's for all race. That's what Jesus was saying. So the ones with the invitation did not want to hear the word. So they got people off the street. You know, so, sir, the servant has said, what you order have been done, but there is still room. So he let him know. I went got people off the street and everything, but, you know, it that still wasn't up. It's still not filled up. See, the master wanted the hall to be filled up. So now there's room for more people, you know, to come. So the master had told his servant, he said, go out to the road in the country. So he said it's still not filled up yet. You know, so he said, go out there until you get enough people to fill this up. You know, so this compelling message, you know, represent the message that God will send to men to empower them to receive Christ. Now he's saying he gonna get anybody out there. They'll be gladly to hear that word from Jesus. You know, so the hall was not full, so he had to go out again. The servant went out to persuade the people to come, you know, to this hall. The hall is full, who willing to hear the word. So the master, the God has said, not of those who were invited will get a taste of my banquet. You know, now he invite all these people to hear God, to hear Jesus' word. You know, none of them did not apply besides the one. You know, so he has said, God has said, I give them invitation, you know, to this free service. And they refuse to want to come and hear that word. You know, so those who ignore the invitation chose their own punishment from rejecting Christ. In other words, they will never taste the joy of heaven. You remember he said up here, they are the ones that was invited. He said they will never taste of this banquet. And so the thing is, they will never taste the joy of heaven. They reject Jesus, and they will not get a taste of heaven. You know, so the basic message is the parable of the great banquet. You know, so the Jews was the Jews who was the one who rejected Christ. You know, so so they reject Christ. You know, but they open doors for the Gentile. You see what I'm saying? They didn't want. They reject Jesus. You know, but they open the door for the Gentile. You know, so the parable of the great banquet, the Jews was the one who rejected Christ, but opened the door of salvation to the Gentile. You know, so the blessing of the kingdom are available to all who are willing to come to Christ by faith. You know, so that's the word in the news I have for you tonight. You know, so we talk about this abortion aspect. You know, we talk about this woman here in Texas. You know, she was having complications. She told them, you know, the doctor told her, your baby don't have a brain, he don't have a skull, you know, but I can't foresee no abortion, but he wind up and did anyway. You know, so, and we just talk about this great banquet. This great banquet that's was called. You know, so they use excuses, but the package wasn't about excuses. It was about God give them invitation, you know, to hear that word from Jesus, and they reject Jesus. Jesus was preparing them for the kingdom, you know, but they reject Jesus, you know. So that's all the word and news I have for you today. And I also, you know, I request that they unban, you know, abortion, you know, because this is needed. You know, because if you have these women having complications, you know, and have to be still dealing with this situation. You know, so that's all I have for you tonight, and I see y'all on the next